goodness. Welcome everybody to the athletes panel. So excited for this. The fuel behind the fire. And we have an international crowd here. And we have Laura and June in the corner. I'm going to give everybody just a quick little bio, and then we're going to get into the meat, and then I'm going to show you a kickoff video. So we've got June and Laura Plahuta here in the corner in Peterborough. And let's just go into right away who these special people are, because this is international. This is Canada. We've got Sweden in here. We've got Austria, and Allie's coming in. You got there. And we're bringing the juice tonight, all on energy and fuel and should we cleanse and why. So Laura and June from Peterborough. Laura is an energetic alignment coach, an holistic healing practitioner, yoga teacher, new mama to little Lily, lifelong athlete and a background in competitive sports. June is a holistic healing practitioner, coach, mama of 3 and grandma of 3, experienced a radical transformation in her 50s in her health. And I do remember radical, yes. She's now moving and feeling more free in her body than ever before. Sarah, over here from Innsbruck, Austria, just 20 minutes down the road from me.
Yep.
Sarah is a former top 10 world-ranked beach volleyball player. Austria's first professional female athlete in the sport. She's a mentor, she's a keynote speaker, an advocate for female leadership and mental resilience in sports. She has 2 decades of elite athletic experience. And we have Alfie, who just showed up. Hi, Alfie's here. DiPuccio, did I say that right? DiPuccio?
DiPuccio.
DiPuccio, okay. Italian background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, DiPuccio. Alfie is a strength and conditioning coach for the past 5 years, formerly in the film and music industry, where he developed unhealthy habits. He transformed his life through movement and sports. He's committed to training and recovery and nourishing the body for pain-free living. And we have Dr. Rick Lee here. And he's been a chiropractor in Toronto since 1989, way back 1989, undergraduate degree in kinesiology at the U of W. And he's certified in active release technique, clinical nutrition, and acupuncture. He practices now 3 days a week with one of his sons at his private clinic. He's passionate about personal development, fitness, hockey, golf, and distance running. And he's also a Boston Marathon finisher. Way to go, my friend. We've done some early morning runs on some of our conferences that I've been at. Did I miss anyone? Just myself, just really short. So I've been in the fitness industry now 35 years. Yes, that long. Started in the late 80s. And I've been running competitively for 32 years and now an ultra mountain runner here in the Alps, master life coach and adventure guide, and the CEO of Album Box Adventures. So I guide people on through the mountains, but also through their inner mountains in our body as I coach and guide combined. So I'm a yoga teacher as well, and I specialize somatic practices, nervous system work, and embodied transformation. So let's get ready to rock. Let me kick it off just really short with an important video from my 82-year-old dad. And I played it, but I got to play it again. So he wanted to be here, but he was not able to be here. And let's see, where did he go? Where did that video go? I must have closed it. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to go, I'll see if I can find it when someone else is talking, we're going to get right in. So my beautiful panel and anyone that's here listening, like Anna and Kristen, if you guys have questions as we're talking, type them in the chat. Laura will write them down and we'll get them addressed. So I would love to know, and let's kick it off with Sarah in my right corner here in Innsbruck. So what lights you up, number one? And what did you learn about yourself when you got your fuel right in your sport? What has choosing the right fuel done for you?
What lights me up? Spending time with good people, just being able to be active and healthy. That's really
Hmm.
important. And yeah, and I like growth and always learn something new. So yeah, I love that. And second question was about what I learned about fueling my
When
body.
you, yeah, when you got your fuel right, how did it change you? Or how did it
Yeah.
change your sport or change you?
So I got introduced like to isogenics after my career. So I stopped 2012 and my friends introduced me to isogenics in 2014. And that
Hmm.
was when after I quit my professional career, I had like small issues on my body, but so I couldn't do any like after I quit, I didn't do anything athletically because of my Achilles and stuff like this, and so I put on 13 kilos in just a couple of weeks, month. And I think you could imagine having been a pro athlete, playing in my bikini, being in shape all my life, and like being paid to train and stay in shape. And then all of a sudden, I finished my degree on university. I did a and some other educations. So I was sitting down, eating, not exercising, and it was like a
Hmm.
explosion in my body. I felt like we have this dessert thing. It's called Gelmknödel. Carry
Oh,
on.
your mama makes them.
Yeah, my mom makes the
Yeah.
Gelm. It's like a dumpling, like it grows and it's yummy. Yeah, it's a dessert thing. Yeah, but it's like that. And so I was literally a Gelmknödel. Yeah. So no, and of course you don't feel good. Like everyone expects you to always be in good shape, and it doesn't come from nothing, especially if you don't eat well and you don't move. And so when they introduced me to isogenics, I know how to follow a plan or something. And I did that. I was like, okay, let's give it a go. I was still in Austria. Isogenics wasn't in Austria, so I took like a 30-day back to Austria, and boom, I dropped like 9 kilos in 1 month. And I was like, oh. I was like, what? Yeah. So for me, it was like, yeah, like finding the clean stays as well, knowing that it's like not crazy hard, knowing that you can embrace a clean state, that you do something good for yourself and your body, and then having easy nutrition to implement, having a shake on the go, or if you go somewhere, having a bar. It really helped me to implement the bits and pieces into my life, and yeah, and come back to a normal shape again and feel good again. So
And right now you're so you're not training professionally, but you're coaching, right?
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
mentor. Yeah, uh-huh.
Hmm.
I train for my personal health and my personal well-being. I like to feel good in my body, and I like to, like, if someone says, like, I'm not a crazy person like Carrie. Like running
You're a little
I'm
bit
not
crazy.
running up the mountain. Like, she's different crazy. Yeah. I can run 8 meters, like that's beach volleyball, eight max, and then jump. That's it. Yeah, no. But I like to, if someone says, "Hey, let's go for a good hike, let's do it," then I can say yes, yes, yes. I don't have to think about my knees, my back, my shoulders. Like, I like to be active and fit. And yeah, I'm so grateful, like, because yeah, this brings me so much joy to be outdoors, be able to be active and join whatever. Like if someone says, let's play some beach volleyball, I can say yes. And or tennis, or yeah, go for a run or whatever. And as well, getting into an age, perimenopause and stuff, I think it's always good to have tools, and to know how to help your body stay in a certain state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So well said.
Hmm.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Danke.
Bitte.
And a little bit of garum canoodle is always good. A
Oh,
little bit.
always. You need the balance, but not just Germknödel. It's dangerous. Yeah.
Awesome. So, how about Rick? How about you dive out and just say what lights you up? And when you discovered the right fuel for you, how did it shift you as a being in your sport and just in your life as a whole?
Well, I think it's just easier if I just share my story.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
I was introduced to Isogenics back in 2006. Um, I had already been doing like a lot of running, and one of my clients came in and said, who I'd been treating for, so we say women's midlife challenges, and we were doing all kinds of different things. It just wasn't quite taking, meeting all the her challenges. So anyway, she comes in a month later, and everything that we'd been working on has been taken care of. I go, and she'd lost some weight. I said, you look great. And she goes, yeah, but that's not why I did this program. And then she started telling me, and I was introduced in the summer. Healthcare practitioners were very skeptical. So I said, you know what, I'll look at it, but not right now. I'm training for a half right now, and of course we think that what a lot of people think that it's going to impact lean muscle, performance, all that. So anyway, fast forward into October, did my race, got on the program, got my wife to do the program because I exercise all the time. I thought, what could this do for me? But I want to see what it does for my wife who doesn't exercise and, different genders. So we both got on the program. For her, she dropped can I say? Anyway, I'll just say it. 22 inches overall and 12 pounds, and felt great energy. And for myself, I dropped 9 pounds and 8 inches overall. And I thought that's crazy because I thought I was eating well and doing everything. But what really got me or hooked was I dropped 10 minutes off my next half marathon time.
Yeah.
And just to expand on that, with Dr. Colgan, who was my mentor, that's where I got my certification in clinical nutrition. I remember when he was talking about using this program for his athletes, already eating clean. They're paying $200 per month for just adaptogens, and then he saw the Onyx. I go, what, $35? Yeah, this is a hoax. So he went down, tested out, then got all his athletes on the program, and they all had better performances to a man, even himself. He said, like all of us, we want to test it, and he thought this is crazy. So actually, he was so rocked by it that he actually joined Isogenics as a result, and you might recall that. And then if I could just share a couple more things,
Yeah.
because I hear, I talk to bodybuilders and look at the shakes and go, oh, I can't use this because there's not enough calories. And I go, well, you have to think, and what we talk to people about is it's the bioavailability. If you think about chicken breast, which is, pretty good for what all these people do to try to put on lean muscle, and egg, which is like the perfect food. Chicken breast is only about 35% bioavailable. The whole egg, which is like the perfect food, 60%. But this shake is over 90% bioavailable. In other words, you don't have this excess waste. That's why it's only that many calories. So when these guys are trying to look like they have saran wrap around their muscles, if anyone knows what saran wrap is, I may be dating myself, but they were able to do this without that trying to drop that excess, what they normally do, and then they don't get the hangries. And a lot of people have talked about, just feeling so much better because this doesn't cut out anything. It's got fat, carbs, good fats, good carbs, and most of all protein. Last thing, I had this 99-pound marathoner. She wanted to do a race. She's skeptical going on the program because it's about the fasting and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Got her on the program and didn't maybe drop 2 pounds, but did a PB. And the thing about this, when you drop excess weight, like not the good stuff, but the fat, and you increase lean muscle, you can only increase performance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop at that.
I love it. Powerful. And I love that we're all coming from different areas, different sports, and have different experiences. That's why it's for everybody. and of any decade, and we're a bunch of different decades here as well. Alfie, how about you coming out? De Puccio. Puccio. De Puccio.
Hi. I was waving to the baby. The baby was waving. So.
Oh,
Little distracted, sorry. Uh, so I started with Isogenics 2013-14. I was introduced to it by Rick. I had started running and I ran my first half marathon. And this was, well, kind of a milestone for me as I was trying to curb my unhealthy habits. One of the things I started to do was running and playing soccer. And so he introduced me to Isogenics, and then I did a 2-week before the next year's half marathon, and I shaved off 12 minutes off my time. So a year later, it was pretty substantial, and then I was hooked.
wow.
So that was my process. Anytime I would train for a marathon or a tournament or something, I'd always have a 2-week prior to that, and it would just kind of shed my weight because I just hold weight. Bottom half of my body, I got big thighs, and so I just hold a lot of weight down there. So I always try to lighten up before any event, and just to be at a good weight, so I'm more agile and stuff. Fast forward, I just started introducing it into my lifestyle, where it was just came back, introduced more of like the morning cleanse. I'd start with my morning with ionics mostly, pretty much every morning. And then most mornings I would do a small cleanse. And then by mid-morning, early afternoon, I'd start my shakes and then get into whole foods by the evening. So that seems to be working for me. And just having products like the shake, the whole blend shake and repair, and stuff like BCAA for intra workouts, and of course Nitro. That's a real good package for me, and it just helps me with whatever I'm doing. Ideally, soccer. When I play soccer, I kind of need that not ionic, sorry, that Nox right before sorry, not Nox, Nitro. I do Nox as well, but Nitro is the key that I use before games and halftime BCAA or hydrate, and then after the game repair. And further to that, I did a little pilot test with one of my colleagues who's with Brick's involvement as well, who is a Ironman. So he was in his program. He was in training for his Ironman at Mont Tremblant. And so I said, why don't you try some of these products while you're in like mid-program? And most of them worked. Some of them weren't fitting into his routine. But again, it was that e-shot that really helped his performance and the recovery, the protein, even though he said between us, he didn't really like the taste of it. He would still take it because the repair and the recovery for him was good. It's good. And just to meet his numbers, he was saying that he had to take a little too much of it. But then again, I don't think I was educating him properly as far as the bioavailability that Rick just explained. My bad, but we've had conversations after, so he's more, he liked it. He liked overall. He liked it. So there you go.
Amazing. Yeah, I think we're hearing a common thread that because it's so concentrated of nutrients in a little bit, and anything we're taking, that it affects anyone in some way, either better recovery or better performance or weight loss or a bit of everything. It's kind of filling the gaps, even though we have different goals, we're coming from different areas, it's powerful. It's a big bang, I find. And when I have stopped taking it for a while, which I had to being in Europe, there's certain things I couldn't have. And then I got it again, I really noticed the difference. I noticed the gaps being filled, the light switches turning on. Beautiful. June, let's come over to you.
Hey.
Maybe share a little bit of your story.
Well, I thought I'll share. There's so many stories that we have like throughout the years. I'm into year 8 now with Isogenics, but I remember back when I started, we had come home from a trip to Austria, actually, a family trip. And I remember just going up this little, not even a mountain, you'd laugh.
It was a mountain, but we took the gondola up most of the way.
I remember the story, yeah.
So what we actually walked, it wasn't really that much, but I just remember this feeling like I was with the kids and I was going and I'm thinking, oh, this is probably the last time I'll ever have a chance to do this. Like, I just felt so old and my energy was just like so not there. Like, I just felt really old. But it was after we came back that I started with Isogenics. And it started out just like being, like just kind of get my nutrition just kind of into more of a routine. I guess I had a lot of inflammation in my body and had been through a bit of, trying to figure out, where I was at in that stage of my life. But, anyway, the Isogenics, it just helped me to really balance everything just with I think it was just getting a routine really was the biggest part of it. And since then, like I've been using Isogenics like pretty much like all the time since then. But the best part of it is, so I did that more for an energy thing in the beginning, and I told you about feeling like I would never do anything. Well, since then, I've done so many things that I never thought that I would do. Like I just came back from Sedona there at the beginning of the year, and I had such an amazing trip there. Like, and I was climbing mountains, and my head was above the top of the mountain, and I was like just really feeling amazing. And I go to the gym all the time now. I play pickleball now, and yeah, I've just really got this spark. Or I've got more energy now than I had back when I was in my 50s. So yeah, it's been an amazing thing. And I use a lot of Isogenics products, I have to admit, but I use that as the foundation of my nutrition. And then when I'm doing the sports as well, like I make sure that I use the nitro. And also a point on the nitro I found was sometimes like I'll find it makes me a little bit too jittery, like, like you have too much energy. So like I just found that, just take as much as you think you need. Like you don't necessarily have to take what it tells you on the package. You can put it down a little bit or maybe a little extra if that's what you need. But yeah, and I've really learned to just adapt Isogenics to my lifestyle. And it's just really been really great. And I can't imagine ever living my life without Isogenics. I still eat healthy food, but I also use the Isogenics and I feel great.
Well, you look great. I thought you were in your early 50s.
I'm going to be 65 this year. So yeah, so I feel great.
Amazing. You got to come over to the Austrian Alps, girl. I'm pushing you.
I know. I'm
pushing you.
It's hard.
Come on. It's calling you back. That same mountain that you climbed that time.
I'll tell you.
You're amazing, June. You're an inspiration.
Thank you. I feel great. Yeah. And age doesn't mean anything. It's just that it gets us really in our head and we feel like things like, oh, I only have so much time, right? Like we never know how much time we have. We have to make the best of what we have with every day and live to the fullest, right?
Right here, right now. Thank you.
For Isogenics.
That's amazing, June. You're awesome. Laura and Lily, drop in.
I think too, just to kind of chime in on what you were saying, like the age, it's like just more years of wisdom and more experience there. Like I really see it as that. Yeah, so I got started when my mom started using it. She started telling me, but at that point I was working as a paramedic. You want to go see grandma? Come here. Come here. Let's go. Grandma. I was working as a paramedic and just like the shift work and the lack of sleep and I was young. I was in my 20s. So I was just like very work oriented and didn't know how to listen to my body quite yet. I mean, I'm a millennial baby. So I grew up on Pop-Tarts and waffles and chicken nuggets. And I mean, we ate good food too, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't the best for you. And that kind of caught up to me in my 20s. I had a lot of inflammation, had some digestive issues. And that's when I got started with Isogenics to really help me with my energy levels, with the convenience, with being able to support getting rid of some of the inflammation in my gut. And I just felt so much better when I used the products. And then, I mean, it's been with me now. It was 2016 when I first got started with them, and it's same thing. Like, we go through so many transitions in our lives, and it's been such like a pivotal kind of piece, even coming into being a mom, because I mean, the adaptogens itself, like, I knew that having a child, like, it's just more stimulating on your nervous system. And I really find that the adaptogens and everything just help me to be more calm, have my emotions more in check, so that I can be more present with my family and with everything else that's going on, and to be able to hold space deeper for my clients, with Lily, with everything. Because when I feel good, then it allows me to kind of ripple that out to everybody else. So now, postpartum, I think my healing journey, like, I'm healing my physical body a lot right now. I have scoliosis as well. So that was another piece with decreasing the inflammation in my body, was I had a lot of chronic pain from that. And it just helped so much to release like some of the discomfort that I felt in my body. So I mean, now I'm still kind of feeling my scoliosis and stuff, but it just kind of goes along with everything, all of the other different healing things that I do when it comes to emotional healing and the mental pieces and everything else. That it just kind of became this foundation that I know what I can go to. When I feel a certain way, I'll go to certain products, right? Like when I can feel I'm ungrounded or a little bit anxious, or feeling like my nervous system is a little bit more shaky, then I will go to my ionics, or I'll go to certain products. Or when I'm doing my workouts and stuff like that, the nitro I love, but it was the same thing as my mom. I really have to tune into my body with, if I need it this day, like it, I go in intuitive ways based off of how I feel, more than just like a system anymore. It's not like I just do the same things every day. I really go to what I feel like I need. And I feel like it gives me a good basis of like a toolbox that I have to be able to help my well-being on the day to day. And I'm so excited to do a cleanse day again, because it's been 2 years probably since before I had Lily that I've done one. So I'm very excited. I feel like my body needs like a serious oil change. Yeah,
That's a good way to describe it, oil change.
It's literally what it feels like. I just feel so much lighter in my body afterwards, and so much more clear in my mind. Yeah, there's so many benefits to it.
Yeah, even just 2 days, because we just started the 7-day reset, even just 2 days of taking in more shake. I was sharing with people in this reset that when I start one of these resets, I eat more, because I have a tendency to have too little for what I do. And two, it's my macronutrients that are cut too short for what I do. And so doing a reset helps me get in more. And some of the first things I notice is I'm hungrier. My metabolism is higher because I'm not doing, it's fast, but my other type fast food is rice cakes, and you know what I mean? It's kind of empty food. It tastes good, but it's empty. So this allows me, even though it's just a little bit more than what I was doing, I know within 2 days, I notice it. I noticed just infusing more of the nutrition in. You can notice in a short period of time. And just adding on with what you're saying, the wisdom. And starting with racing back in my 20s. Well, I'm only in my 30s now, so that was about 10 years ago. A long time ago. I really didn't know, like, I was young and fit, but I didn't really know. You have to live it to learn it, right? I was training 7 days a week. I didn't rest hardly at all. And I wasn't really performing. I was doing marathons, but I wasn't really performing well. And I was holding on to this body water. And I was also doing triathlons and things like that, would go in and out. But then in my early 30s, I started to puff up, and I was even doing Ironmans. I'm like, how is this possible to be doing so much more training? And I feel like I'm, like you said, like the Germknödel. I wasn't that, but I was just not feeling good, and I was doing everything I thought, but it was clearly the cortisol in my lifestyle. It was like, as a personal trainer, and I was working way too much, not sleeping, and training. So it was all activated, activated, activated. There was no down, and my nutrition was off. But so I couldn't understand it back then. Now, since I was introduced to this mid-30s, I was in my mid-30s, I think, so 17 years ago. I didn't think I needed it. I kind of pushed it away. I said, I already eat clean and green and vegan and all that. And it didn't look like something that was for me. And then I started really noticing the change, not just in sort of my body composition, but in my sport, but also in the mental, the stress, and the mental clarity. But I didn't start really, really noticing it until my late 40s. And until I upped the training and started doing much longer stuff and ultras. And I would say my best performance is in my 50s as far as physical. I feel my best physically, like in my early 50s, than I ever did in my 20s and my 30s. And that a lot of that is wisdom, a lot of that is trial and error, and I take more rest now. But it's having the nutrition dialed in. It's like you said, Laura, I do it like this for a while, and then I come back to eating whatever I want. And then, okay, I'm now ready, like this reset. It is time to do the body's like now. And then I look forward to cleanse. So it's such a, I'm so grateful for it. And even in the small, just the adaptogens, they do so much for me. Even if it was just that, just the adaptogens, it's huge for me. Not just in sport, but in everyday life. And so that brings me to the next question. And Sarah, if you have to jump off, we understand. So I'm just letting you know. Now you got to get up early. So what are your thoughts, guys, on especially athletes and intermittent fasting? Because there's a lot of intermittent fasting everywhere. And there's many different ways to do it. 16-8, 24-hour, 48 hours, sometimes 4 days with water. What is your thoughts and experience on that for athletes in training, outside of training? Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I know, I get it. Just a little drop in your thoughts, because even if we completely have different opinions, that's great too. Rick, how about you?
Okay, absolutely not a problem to do it. I just make sure that they're not doing it like a fasting day. And I usually recommend, it depends on the individual. If they want really quick results, we do 48. If they want to just kind of do things a little more slowly, we do 24 hours. And but if they can do 48, I do 48. Try not to do it around heavy training. You can still do a light workout for those who are used to it, but there's a big, and I think we talked about this earlier, to debunk the myth that you're catabolizing lean muscle, and you're not. When you start going into the longer distances that you're talking about, yeah, that's when you're going to start leaning in on lean muscle. But if you have a good base and everything else, and that's what the detox does as well. It also helps to increase your glycogen stores for later. But beyond that, let's talk about just fasting. And we know that it helps to, it's very anabolic. It increases HGH. I mean, there's a number of different ways which you increase HGH, HIIT workouts, deep sleep, and fasting. And that's not an isogenics thing. That's just science. Yeah. That's just, our body physiology. But what we do with isogenics and what makes it so perfect is that, and John Anderson's, he's like super brilliant guy. When he put this together, he knows that the kidneys and the liver are going to, they're going to be under more duress in trying to process all this, because now we have studies to show that, yeah, there's actually a lot of toxins that get released. And so how does the liver deal with that? It needs certain coenzymes and cofactors to be able to process all that during the two detox phases within the liver. So that's what isogenics uses to cleanse for life for, and it complements that. And so you're able to do it without really bottoming out if you do it properly. And that's why,
Yeah.
that's why the coaching is so important. People think, oh, I'll just go on a water diet for two days. Like, not the same, not the same
No.
support and everything else. And we also know that, and more recently, about autophagy and how that's impactful. You have all these, cells that need to be cycled out, and it does such a great thing to be able to do that and really clear the system out. And then you start getting into, now there's some, okay, you can look it up later, but they talk about if you start going into the deeper cleanse, you can get some stem cell promotion as well. So anyway, I'm not saying that. Anyway, there's some preliminary stuff that shows that. But resetting insulin sensitivity, huge for detox. Also HGH, better sleep. When we think about gut health, really important. We know that now that 90%, over 90% of the neurotransmitters in your brain are from the gut. So what better way than to help cleanse the gut at the same time, and then making sure that you're getting quality amino acids back in there with our protein. And I won't go into all of that, but now that's why people have this, they feel great. They feel very, they're happier, more energy, all these different things. So I'll stop. Let someone else talk.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Acero, I think he was saying, he was talking about cleaning house, how we prepare the body with the shake days and the cleaning up first. It's like trying to clean your house when the rooms are messy. You can't really get a deep cleaning. So that's why the system is the way it is 2 or 3 days before to lead up to the cleanse. So you're cleaning up the rooms a bit. And then you have this really amazing deep cleanse. But if you just kind of off burgers and fries come into a cleanse, that would be a big halt. Like, then you can absorb the nutrients you're talking about, everything you're talking about, Rick, you can absorb it so much more when we clean the house a bit.
And I just want to add more thing with brain. There's just so much stuff now that they're putting together that shows that it really helps for cognition and memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So many things. Alfie, do you want to chime in on this one?
Yeah, I think I mentioned already that I do it daily where I will do that mini cleanse in the morning, and it's almost part of that intermittent fasting, where I'll do a 12 or 14 hour, nothing, not 24 or 48 anymore. But again, it's just one of those things where your body steps away from that acidic state and then it's ready to absorb the nice nutrients from the shakes and then carry that kind of concept throughout the day. And you're just properly nourishing your body. And one of the first things that I told Rick when he asked me when I was first on it was my mood. And I just said to him, I'm able to be more patient with my children. I had young children at the time and, busy lifestyle. And that's one of the things that I miss when I go off it, right? That sort of thing. When I, say you go on vacation or something, you come back, you're kind of, missing the vacation one and your mood has changed, right? And getting right back onto routine, just kind of, oh, this is where I should be. So it's kind of interesting how, why me at least, why don't I just bring all my stuff with me and keep that routine going on the vacation? So maybe the next one I'll do it. And also that was one of the things that test I did with my Ironman friend. His name is Denai. One of the things that I asked him was about mood, and he goes, "Yeah, mood just like right away. It helped him." And he was again training for an Ironman. He wanted to do a PR and or PB, sorry. And so he's training hard, and one of the things that helped him was his mood. So just overall taking the product. So yeah.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Laura or June or both, you want to share your thoughts on fasting?
Yeah, I'll share what just came to me there. With myself, I'm not doing the fasts like all the time, like on a schedule. I tend to just go more by like how my body is feeling. And it's really amazing how your body lets you know when you need to do the cleanse if you're not doing it like on a regular basis. Like I'm very intuitive with my body. Like since I started with Isogenics, it's just really allowed me to really be in tune with my body and how I feel and what my body needs. And that's one thing I find with the cleanse. Like I know myself enough now. Like I can find like my mood, like you were talking about there, like my focus is maybe a little bit off, or my mood is not quite how it usually is, or I get like a hot feeling sometimes in my body. It's just like I just feel hot. And I normally don't run hot, and it's not like menopausal or anything like that. But I imagine I never had to go through any of that for whatever reason, but I imagine that's what it feels like. You just kind of get this flush of hot and then, it goes away. But I find that's kind of my sign, like to do a cleanse. And then when I do that, that's if I let it go too far, actually, I would say. I'd start to feel that heat. And then it just brings everything back to balance, I find. And and I do my shakes like all the time anyway. Like like I said, that's the foundation of my nutrition anyway. So usually I kind of get to do it whenever, but yeah, I think it's just, that's just great to be able to tune into what your body needs and just use it, even with the time wise, or whether you do it 1 day or 2 days, like 2 days always, I mean, you feel amazing afterwards. And the second actually you feel even better than you did. It's easier than the first day, which, I mean, you would think it wouldn't be so easy, but yeah, I mean, it's got so many benefits.
Amen to that. Laura, are you, I mean, you're about to do your first one in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, what was I going to say? It's gone, Lily. This shows you I need a cleanse day. And also becoming a mom, my brain's just like not fully there. But I know that I resonate with a lot with what my mom said about, like, for me, I remember before when I would be going to the gym and I would start like not wanting to go to the gym, or my workouts felt hard, I would have to do a cleanse day because my legs and my body just felt heavier. And it felt like it was literally like I was moving through like molasses. Whereas after I did my cleanse day, and I would notice that the first day would always be more challenging, especially I found in the beginning when I started doing it, because I started realizing how many thoughts I had about food in a day, where it was like legitimately an addiction to food without knowing it. And it's literally just like an upbringing of not having the proper emotional ways to process and holding things in, and then needing external things to be able to give me a certain dopamine hit. And food was definitely one of those things where I would notice that my thoughts would just be about food because my emotional state would drop, and then it would instantly be thinking about food. So it brought me so much more awareness around my mental patterns and also how I was feeling and the things that I would go to in the external environment, which was food one of the time. And how many times I would open up the fridge to go eat something and then be like, oh shoot, I'm doing a cleanse day. And then the second day was always so much easier. It was like kind of out of the compulsive thoughts, I think, that were just there, that then had the chance to be able to like flow through. So I feel like I started like understanding that there was a different way of living outside of just like, I remember it seems crazy. And I haven't thought about this in a really long time. It's just kind of coming up now, was that I would literally be eating and then I would already be thinking about what I'm going to be eating next meal. Like it was crazy how many of my thoughts were around food. And so it really helped me to be able to work through that as well, and just notice some of those patterns and just feeling lighter afterwards. So, I mean, I also have done like the nightly cleanses. So sometimes I just don't feel like doing a full one, whether that's just like a mental thing. I just don't want to do it. I'll take the cleanse before bed, and even just taking it a scoop before bed, I notice a big difference in my digestion and how I'm able to actually digest food a lot better. It doesn't feel like I'm like, I know you're needing attention. We're almost done. That like my stomach doesn't hold as much in it. It like really helped to like clean stuff out. So, I mean, I don't know, there was just so many different benefits to it that I experienced, and the mental clarity and everything. So I'm excited to do one, but there's lots of ways to do it. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's just really listening to our bodies and going to what feels good for us, and then being curious to try different ways as well to see what works for us as well.
Yeah.
I find too, you can do more push-ups when you're cleansing. Like you can do the strength work is very precise. I don't know if you guys have found it. It's almost like every muscle fiber is being used. That's what I find.
remember feeling a lot more
Like
connected to my body afterwards.
connected. Yeah. Connected.
I would do my workouts after doing the 48-hour cleanse specifically, that I would feel so much more in tune with my body and like everything, like just more connected to myself and the energy of my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So as we come to a close here, my beautiful friends, is there anything else you'd love to drop in to this space? Anything else that's come up as we've chatted, or anything that's you think needs to be said that we haven't said? Anything? Alfie or Rick or June or Laura?
I just want to add one more thing, just regards to the products and the company and the amount of research that they do. And I think Alfie talked about this the other day, where they would actually waive the right of first refusal to people that they had run the different research studies, which is unheard of with regards to these kind of things, especially from a nutritional company, because they kind of want to control what gets out there. But this is going out into the research world, and good or bad, they said nope. They just put it out there, and of course they knew what they had. So I think for people who want to really take a look at this, and if you're still concerned, go into isogxhealth.net and look up the research studies. It's been well documented about how much good this will do. And again, it's not a miracle. It's body physiology. It's science. Now you're just getting proper nutrients into the body and allowing the body to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think too, like there's
Awesome.
been a big shift in, I think now that the internet's there's so much more access to information as well. Whereas I think like, even I know back when I started, and I mean, the internet was still out for a long time there, but like there was fear around trying new things, I think. And it was more or less just around the fear that I would feel with trying new things. But the more that I got out of that comfort zone of what I didn't know or that was new to me, the more I expanded my world as to what's actually out there. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much out there to help us to feel better and to heal on a deep level. It's just like getting out of our comfort zones to try something new and just see how you feel through that process, because we know how we feel. And the other thing as well with the if you're used to having stuff that's not very healthy, and then you start putting very good quality nutrition in, your body can sometimes have like almost like it can maybe dip the energy as your body's purging.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to come into it, it's different for everybody when you first start using the product. So I know there's a lot of people that they're like, oh no, my energy, it dipped and I didn't feel good. I felt nauseous. Like that's a good thing, especially when you're cleansing your liver and your kidneys, because your body needs to get rid of stuff. It needs to purge. And you can really see it as your body has this innate wisdom and it knows what it's doing. And when you give quality stuff, like you just have to ride the waves of what happens. And it will peak back up again, but it just has to go through that phase of like doing the cleanse and doing the purge of the years and years and years, however many years you've been on this planet. And even sometimes before, because we hold generational stuff in our bodies and in our patterns and everything as well, that like you're doing something new for your body. So it's going to take a little bit for it to get used to it.
Yeah.
And I know
I hear you.
a lot of people will say to me, like, you can't just live off shakes. Like, you have to eat. But honestly, like, I like my shakes better than I like eating food. Like, I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but to me, like, my body feels the best when I'm having my shakes, and then just something light besides that. So
yeah,
I think everybody's different, and you just have to really go for what feels good.
I just tell them, well, I do eat it because I do eat them. I make them so thick. I literally eat it like a meal, and sometimes they're hard to finish. So I put very little water and more ice. So I never drink my shakes. I always eat them. So I am eating a meal.
I'll add different things into it sometimes just for a little bit of, mixing it up a bit, but yeah, I could definitely up just my isogenic shakes.
I couldn't.
No.
Even especially breastfeeding. Oh my gosh, like on that journey of breastfeeding, like it's been so amazing to get more calories into my body. Like I eat so much. Like I have sometimes 2 or 3 meals and then 2 shakes and snacks. It's like I'm a machine.
And she's still
Wow, you're a machine.
And I'm so thin. I've never been this thin in my life, I don't think. But it's just like in that season that I'm in, and I think it's just a different season for everybody. And it's not like we need to stick with that same routine all the time. We need to be open and flexible to seeing what our body needs and what season we're in, and then adjusting and trying new things. And eventually you just find a groove of what works. But it's trial. It's not going to be a smooth line. It's going to be like this.
Beautiful, beautiful roller coaster. Alfie, do you want to finish with anything?
Yeah, I don't have to meal prep anymore.
A lot less,
Right.
for sure.
I eat fresh food. I cook fresh and I have shakes, and it does me well. It does all of us very well. So, yeah. But I got to try the ice with it so I could eat it more and scoop it more. That sounds like ice cream. That's good.
It's very, very filling because it just fluffs up and sometimes I can't even finish it in one go because it really thickens it up.
Nice.
Put the banana in it. I put banana in it too, but
yeah.
I break the rules.
Really nice, like a yogurt.
Me too, Carrie.
Awesome. Well, guys, this has been a blast hanging out with you. My fellow athletes, my fellow humans, brothers and sisters. Thanks for taking the time, for spending the time here with us. This is awesome. Good amount of time. Yeah, so I think we will close off, and anybody listen to the recording, if you have any questions based on anything we shared, drop it in the chat below and we'll make sure we answer it. And that's it.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
June. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Alfie.
Take care. Thank you, June. Thank you, Laura. Bye, Lily.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.